Smith. Thank you for coming in. I'm really glad we have an opportunity to talk about Andy's reading progress. It's nice to see you. In class, we did some assessments of Andy. I wanted you to know that I really like having him in my classroom. He is very helpful. He's always prepared. I'm glad he always has his homework in his backpack.
Yeah, I make sure of that.
Yeah. And when other students have been absent or when they are away from the table and they need help at the table, he's always willing to help them. It's really nice to see that. We try to make community in our classroom, and he's definitely catching on to that. Yeah. Anyway, a few of the assessments that we did were on phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. All of those are components for the overall reading process. So I'd like to go through a few of those pieces with you, tell you what we're doing in the classroom, and then make a couple of suggestions for your home use in order to help him improve his reading.
Okay.
So fluency, well, actually I'm going to start with phonics. Phonics is how the speech of a word, how speech relates to our reading. He has strength in a lot of the areas of consonants. He has mastered a lot of the areas of phonics, but there's a few areas that I'm going to work on with him in class. We're going to start with long A vowel sounds and then progress from there. I have a few other areas like R-controlled vowels. They're real more technical terms, and it's not, so I don't know if it would matter to you what they are, but I will note them in what I send home with his word sorts, and I'll explain that so that you have an idea of why the words are grouped in a certain way and what we're aiming for. So, but anyway, a phonics word sort is what we're working on. The students have a group of words that they're going to organize. The organizing of the words really helps them figure out what the word connections are, and then they also make connections in their reading. Let's see, the other area that we're going to work on is fluency. Fluency is rate of reading, it's the accuracy of his reading, and also the expression that he uses in his reading. He has great accuracy. And I enjoy listening to him read. He actually has he reads well. So in the areas of speed and expression, we work on repeated reading in class. It's a timed reading where he works with a partner and they work on getting the speed of their reading up. And so we do that 2 or 3 times a week. For expression, we work on choral reading. I find passages for the students and they all have to read out loud together. It's fun, it's enjoyable because there's a lot of giggling involved, but it does help them learn to express it. And for those people who are a bit more shy, it lets them see that other people are doing it and helps everybody all together. We're going to work on vocabulary. I think that vocabulary for him is an area that he has a difficulty with expressive vocabulary. So to work with that, we're going to do wide reading. Wide reading is a method in which the student chooses material that they are really enjoying. And it's not something I've selected. It's not something we have to have. He gets to choose it. And there's a lot of things. I take him to the library. He'll select something he enjoys. It will be at an instructional level. It won't be something easy. It'll be something he has to work at a little bit, but it will be something he can do. And it's a silent reading for 20 minutes, twice a week. And we really know that the more a student reads, the better their reading becomes, the better their comprehension is. It really is simply just reading teaches reading, but there are strategies that we use in the classroom that help us get to a more accurate level. So let's see, now we're on to comprehension. Every one of these other pieces, the phonics, the fluency, and the vocabulary, build up to what we say is comprehension. It's what the children understand when they read. And comprehension, if you don't master all of the other levels, it's kind of hard to understand what you're reading. So we're working on all of these other areas that lead up to comprehension. We also work at comprehension at the same time because there are certain strategies that we want the students to learn. So for comprehension, we do reciprocal reading. I model a reading for the students in which I show them how to summarize. They learn how to question. They see the information, they clarify it, and then they make predictions. Then the students go into a small group, and the one student at a time, one student once a week will be the teacher, and they lead the group in that type of modeling that I showed them. So they have to take the responsibility on, and it kind of makes them focus more on the reading and take that responsibility. It's good for their expression. It's good for them learning how to lead a group too. So another thing that I want you to know that I'm working with in every one of his classes is the graphic organizers. That helps him organize his thoughts and what the materials are. We have those for every one of the classes: science and math, language arts, social studies. So you'll be able to see in his work that those are there and available to him. Some of the things that would be great to work on at home, I have a work packet that I'm going to be sending, and that will include his word sort for the week. There is read alouds. Now, there's nothing really specific that you have to do with the read aloud. We do it in class. He's going to read whatever he's brought home. Maybe it's a passage. It might even be a book that he chooses, but just allow him to read for about 20 minutes every evening, and you can ask him questions. I sometimes send home questions in the packet that you might work with them specifically on, and question him if you find a vocabulary word that you know he might not know, or a theme in the book that you want to know about. It also, the read aloud allows you to do something else at the same time. It keeps him accountable because he's working with someone in the room, but it also doesn't put a lot of burden on you to have to sit there and hold the book and read to him, because I know we're all busy. So but it is a good strategy. One other one is a think aloud. It kind of runs along in the same way as a read aloud, but you will be asking him. You ask, what was the character thinking, or why would they act that way? Do you like that kind of character? Or even if it's something more about science or nature that he's reading, well, what was that? Where do you see that? Just small ideas that we take for granted, but something that puts an idea into their mind. So I know this is a lot of information at once. I will definitely keep you posted. I'm going to send notes along. This is going to be a part of his homework. Really, it is just the fact that we have to have him reading more often. All of the students, I'm suggesting that to all of them, to read. It's a complex process, and each child learns to read in their own way. But I think the strategies that we have going on in the classroom and a few of the things that I've suggested for home are really going to add to his enjoyment and really help him progress in his reading ability, and that's something he'll be doing throughout his whole school career. So I really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure meeting you, and again, I'm really pleased to have him in my class. Thank you for letting me have him in my class. So.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.